Welcome, Angry Faithful, to the Friday What the Hell on Angry Me Productions YouTube channel. Now, Bill's been gone for 2 weeks. He's back. Yay,
Kind
Bill
of.
back.
That didn't work, did it?
It did.
For 2 seconds.
Why is yours louder than mine? That's kind of... I probably got to fix something on mine. Anyways.
Why?
How can I hear yours like perfectly fine? I need to work on my stuff. Anyways. No. Listen to this one. Did you hear that?
No.
No.
Yeah, you're coming through like it's real choppy, and it's not smooth.
It's weird. Anyways, yeah. So Bill's back, and we got some actual news from this week. China, if you watch the, and I sent, okay, that's another thing. Did you watch the whole Trump speech from yesterday?
Unfortunately, I did.
Why do you say unfortunately you did?
Because I was sitting there going through it and saying he's got to have a lot of ironclad stuff. And I don't know if I haven't followed it close today, but just looking at a few comments, yeah, General Flynn says, oh, great, these people should be whatever. But I don't see so far enough. Now, did you notice when some of it was declassified?
A couple of days ago?
No. In fact, Catherine Herridge is a good one to follow on this because she's been like on it.
Mm-hmm.
And well, where is that first picture? I got to find the first picture. I downloaded it. No, it was declassified in April. You didn't see it declassified in April?
Mm-mm.
Let me see if I can find it. Well, anyway, it was declassified in April by Tulsi. The very first page that came up in my Twitter feed, it might be in my bookmarks. The very first page someone posted was from Tulsi.
Okay, here's another thing while you look that up. I actually thought when he came out and he said all that stuff, I was like, Tulsi Gabbard said something like that a couple of months back. I just it's been so far back that I totally forgot.
My thought today was actually, if I had been more prepared and not had issues, was to play that Tulsi speech that we played a few months ago, back in April.
We did, didn't we? Because it was one of those things. It's like I had a feeling like Tulsi Gabbard said something like this, or Tulsi Gabbard should be the one talking about this stuff.
My first statement was, it was a damn shame she isn't still there.
Yeah,
and she could have been the one doing this release. You know what? This might be on. Actually, I know where this was. It was on Trump's post. It was his very first Truth Social post. And this is the best I can do with it. And this is let me see if I can get this. Yeah, on vacation, 2 weeks of being in Washington, D.C., but not following political news. How the hell does that happen?
Easily.
Yeah, I can tell you easily here in a little bit, but right here.
Read it for us, since no one can read it on their phones or anything, Bill.
Yeah, I know. The actual image, that's from a still from the video of his play. Declassified by DNI Gabbard on March 16th of 2026. Approved for public release by President Trump on July 3rd.
So it took him some time to verify it.
Well, I think the deal was they continued to collect additional information.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that CBS did their due diligence and did the reporting and opened up with their news article saying, yeah, we talked to China and China says they didn't do it, so we believe them. That's literally what they said. Let me see if I can find that video. Because it's stunning.
Much better.
Yeah, here we go. Found it. Okay.
Get him to resign at one. He seems to be alleging there that China actively tried to undermine him and even referenced wanted to get him to resign at one point. Ahead of this, I did reach out to Chinese officials who were already prepared with a pre-buttal here. He seems to be alleging there that.
Yeah. So their rebuttal is, we didn't do it.
This is a little more legible.
You still have to read the whole thing, Bill.
Oh.
No one can read that.
The issue was just reading when it was declassified, not the whole thing. We don't want to go through thousands of documents, but that was the first thing Trump posted.
Bill, read that article right there that you just posted. Or send it to me and I'll read it.
Okay. Continue while I get this downloaded and sent.
Okay. Yeah. Did you hear about Maine's new U.S. senator that's trying to get qualified or voted in?
No. I mean, I vaguely heard between trying to.
Okay.
Oh, that.
You didn't run, and then actually, what qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate?
Oh, I ran for office several times, didn't win, but I did run. And then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books. And then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to the people, and I wouldn't deceive the people like we're being deceived right now. Like we get lied to, smoke and mirrors, like what's going on with ICE, pretending like these victims did something wrong. Like that's unacceptable. And I suppose the biggest thing is, like, I'm just an angry citizen now, and if I got elected, I'd be an angry senator, and I think that would probably be their worst nightmare.
That is there's a lot of people putting up on those posts and reposting it, and there's like, this isn't Meatloaf, just to let you know. I'm like, oh Jesus.
What was it?
What do you mean? What was it? Did it not show up?
Oh, yeah, it did, but I mean, male, female? What was that?
You know what? I questioned the whole thing. It says I think it's one of those trannies because it's Ashley Webb. So I don't know. It's one of those things that it's just too weird, you know?
Okay, I sent you that image.
I'm trying to. Oh, there we go. God, even the yeah, it's no matter what, it's fuzzy. Okay, this is what the key takeaways on this. We access that, and this is the article that the first part of the National Intelligence Council that was opened up January 15th, 2020. Key takeaways. We assess that at least Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea have the capability to access and potentially manipulate data in the U.S. elections relative computer systems. But we do not know whether they have specific plans to interfere with the functioning of these systems. We access that centralized elections related data responders such as voter registration databases, poll books, and official election websites are most vulnerable to exploitation. And
Exploitation.
thank you. This is the reason why you needed to read it. Because my dyslexia is causing up and it's all fuzzy right now. Advisors adversaries could use access to these systems to disrupt election processes. And it's just indicating what could possibly happen. This is from the 2020 election. We judge that U.S. adversaries, including a minimum Russia, China, Iran, and Korea, as well as non-state groups, have capabilities compromised. We always knew that, though. Yeah, it's
Where are you at? Compromise U.S. election infrastructure for the 2020 presidential election. Adversaries gaining access to U.S. election-related systems could disrupt the voting process, steal sensitive data, or undermine confidence in election results. But we do not know whether any of them have specific plans to manipulate election-related systems. Russia almost certainly reconnoitered all U.S. state election networks during the 2016 election cycle, accessed election-related infrastructure in at least 2 states, and exfiltrated voter data from at least 1 state. Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea are all capable of conducting similar operations during the 2020 election cycle, judging from their known cyber capabilities and past operations. The ability of sophisticated computer network intrusion or attack tools on the dark web gives additional countries and non-state actors the potential capability to interfere in the election. We judge that cyber criminals and hacktivists could also target election infrastructure for financial or political reasons based on past incidents, possibly or definitely attributed to such groups. All of the garbage about Russia, that was BS. During the first election, I watched Russian media, subtitled, to see what was going on, to see what they really thought. There was the incident where Hillary left a briefcase in a Russian hotel room. They laughed like hell at that, and they thought, we want her to win because she's incompetent. It was always bullshit. If you watched Russian media, they did not want Trump to win. Why did Putin say he really didn't want Trump to win this time? Because he's unpredictable. Russia has never wanted Trump to win. One, thought he would be too powerful. Two, he's unpredictable.
Hey, Bill.
Yes.
Bill. Inks the Russian thing. Right now, we're talking about China.
And if China wins the AI race, then they will be able to do whatever in the hell they want with our data. They'll be able to pull it in from those cameras that are like, oh my gosh, if there's a data center next to me, then that camera's going to see me. If I stop it, then this camera can't see me. Fucking morons. No, if we don't win the AI race, China is going to be able to take that camera you're so afraid of and pull all the information from it and take it and use it. And that's what they can do. AI manipulation, if they can tap into our systems, our election systems, the systems to manipulate people by directing information, then we're sunk. Yeah.
It's bound to.
No, and these idiot people who look at the number. Oh, look at the number of data centers Texas has, and the number of data centers that China has. Well, you know, we have data center in that figure. You could go all the way back to whatever data center 30 years ago is still functioning, which is the capabilities of that are. This has many, infinite capability more than some of the data centers that are in that look how many data centers we have figure that the damn activists are throwing around. You got to compare it to power and compute. And I'll get into this in a little bit after this, what just happened with why there was a tech sell-off today. And yeah, it was China, and yeah, all these dumbass people going, huh, we're beating China because we got more data centers.
Go ahead.
Total morons, totally irrelevant.
Bill, go ahead and talk about that.
Well, I went into AI, imagine that, and I asked, why was there an artificial intelligence sell-off today? The global artificial intelligence sell-off today, July 17th, was primarily triggered by the surprise release of an advanced lower-cost AI model from China, alongside growing investor fatigue over massive corporate capital expenditures. Tech-heavy NASDAQ composite fell 1.4%, S&P slid 1%. The Chinese AI breakthrough shock. The primary catalyst for today's sharp downturn was Chinese startup Moonshot AI's unexpected release of its Kimi K3 large language model. Disrupting the economic model, Moonshot announced that the advanced model performs on par with US top models like OpenAI and Anthropic, but operates on significantly lower cost chips and less data. Undercutting sales assumptions, the announcement directly shook Wall Street's core assumption that AI expansion requires an infinite, highly expensive supply chain of top-tier hardware, directly impacting future revenue expectations for Western chip firms. High capital expenditure and CapEx fatigue. Investors have grown increasingly skeptical about how quickly massive investments in AI will generate clear profits. The TSMC catalyst, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, posted strong quarterly earnings, but simultaneously announced plans for significant higher capital expenditures than previously projected. Hard to impress, even though demand remains tight, the prospect for ever-increasing infrastructure costs spooked investors. Also, delays and profit-taking in mega caps. We won't go into all of this. Oh, and geopolitical pressures, Middle East escalation, energy cost surge also gets into it.
Well, here's something that's interesting, okay? Because I remember hearing something about Texas instruments being sold off or whatnot. And Texas Instruments is the first group or company that actually made the microchip. So here's something that's strange. I'm going to go up on this one. This is something that I'll share with everybody. This is what's strange. Okay, we're gonna have to go to from bottom up. 4 days ago, Texas Instrument was 4% down today. Most likely expansion is a broad semiconductor sell off rather than a new company specific. They had lots of layoffs and everything. Now, next day, stock goes down 3.3%. Okay, wow, that sucks. And it had like a hundred. Let me go back up here. 163 North Texas jobs lost due to layoffs, and possibly an extra 20 more. But 8 hours ago, Texas Instruments stock is up 64% in 2026. So all, it's been going up, but it just hit some downs because of the layoffs and everything. And these layoffs are due to the fact that they're older fabrication plants, from what this article is saying. Also, they're expected to go to Sherman, Texas, and have a $40 billion expansion plant. So I don't know. A lot of those companies are, I think a lot of this stuff is being brought down because the companies are spending a lot of money in investing into the United States to build the buildings. That could be a possibility too. What do you think, Bill?
Well, the in Phoenix they announced that big what was the name of it? It has a big the Taiwanese company TSMC is doing a major expansion in Phoenix. And here's a little aside on that. This is what's hilarious. A data center now, no data center proposed in Texas right now uses evaporative cooling. Zero, you stupid shits. None of them. They all sip water. Now, what does guzzle water? Semiconductor plant. You can look at, like our local Skybox, estimated at 4 million gallons a year. Car wash does over 1 million if it's a busy car wash. A semiconductor plant, over 1 million gallons a day. What's really hilarious is, okay, it hires 2,000 people, maybe permanent, not the temporary construction workers. So the people in Phoenix, in Arizona, are going, look, we support that, but let's fight the data centers. Now, wait a minute. You're supporting the company that is guzzling the water, but it builds the product for the data center. So you're going to fight what buys the product that company makes. That's the insanity of these dumbasses in the anti-data center groups. They got no clue.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I'm going to say this because the information is public. Anyone can find this.
Oh, well, Bill, all you have to do is after your sentence and everything, allegedly. That's it.
No.
Even if no. Say allegedly after all the sentence that you're about to say.
Because it has to do with where I worked. How, man? I have to preface it with this information is public. It's nothing that I got. You can look at current reports. You can look at what the CEO says, whatever. Microsoft just, people say, oh, it's only going to hire a few people. Look, it's only going to be a few jobs. Microsoft just made a purchase for, I believe it was 6 or 7 major GE Vernova turbines. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can look this up. Who has major contracts with GE Vernova? Howmet. What types of blades that are in the GE Vernova turbines?
I don't know.
Yeah, the type that Howmet makes. This is all public information. And the AI cross-referenced it with job hiring information. Seems there's a lot of job hiring out there. The CEO of Howmet said there is a 38% increase in their business from non-aircraft.
Yeah.
20%.
We don't make aircraft. We make a lot of aircraft parts, but we also make a lot of just aluminum parts that go on different things like
Gas turbines.
or wind turbines too, just turbines in general.
Right.
Also, there's another thing that's happening too. There's a lot of poaching going around. And if you're interested, and I thought about this too, I seriously thought about this. I'm thinking about doing it. Is getting my electrician license back again and go working for one of these data centers. Dude, they're poaching electricians constantly. You know how much they're paying? $230,000 a year. A year.
Let me finish the one thought on the turbine thing, and then we'll get into the poaching thing, because I got several comments on that too. But think about it. All these people who say it doesn't create jobs. Well, look, one component, and they forget that the supply chain, the workers who build the data centers, the products that they use, that they put it together with, don't come out of thin air. There's a supply chain of multiple products. So you're talking about one generator. Now, look at a turbine. It has different sets of blades. So it's probably creating jobs in other parts of the country that make other stages of it. And then you've got the tubing and companies that make electrical wiring. And then you got GE Vernova, where the thing's assembled. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Then you got local companies who make air handlers, coils, things that sound suppress. You've got companies that make high voltage switches. They're all expanding locally.
Yeah.
So all of these people who say it only creates few jobs. No. There's 6 to 9 times more jobs created that you don't see than that stupid figure that people see. Everything down to the pipes, tubing, wires, the servers, the server racks.
And not even that, okay?
Concrete.
Yeah, not even that. Who's going to clean up the facilities?
Well, that's those 5 people who work there. Of course, they're not. They're counting it as though it's a Bitcoin mining data center that might employ 5-10 people. But there's different kinds of data centers. Our local one is a multi-tenant, supposedly going to be a multi-tenant campus. Something like that, yeah, it can directly employ 500 people. Not necessarily with Skybox, but if it's multi-tenant, it includes other businesses in it. They will have employees working in the building. That's how that works, but people don't understand that.
Well, it's like that one city council meeting for the land stuff that we went to. That one guy, he was talking about, oh, they're having temporary areas, and I just want to say that all those people, they're gonna bring in drug people and blah 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 blah. They don't understand it, and here's the thing, that this is the only reasoning I can think of. One, he probably doesn't have that much stuff to do. Okay. He wants to advocate something that he feels passionate about. Good on you. You know, protest away. Speak your mind. No big deal. But I don't think people understand that there's a lot of times that people go into an area for the temporary housing and they actually stay here. The thing I'm worried about most is because, like, during the pandemic, did you notice anything around that was going on strange with the housings? Bill,
Not during that.
okay, I worked for a place that was putting up stuff in the houses, okay? Like windows and doors and everything, door frames. We were busy constantly. And I was talking to one of the guys that was building houses in town. He's like, I can't keep up, and they're throwing money at me. And I'm not like, it's not like small amount of money. And I have to tell these people no. He told me, it's like, I was building a house for, he told me he was selling it for 400,000. That was his price of him making a profit for building the house. That was his max price for this house. And someone bid on the house for like 800,000, and it kept on going up to, like, he said he already because he already made a promise to one person, he couldn't sell the house, and they had to get in line for another house. But they were throwing money at him, and it was ridiculous. But nobody sees that. We're going to get more houses, better well, maybe not better houses. Those ones built in freaking, like, in the 80s and 70s, hell, in the 50s. Those things are durable as hell. But anyways, we're going to get...
Not really here.
We're going to have... No, because most of them were destroyed.
No, now your crime issue. Here's what's going on with the crime issue with women are going to get ARD, however you might say that we can't use the word.
Yeah, we can't use
and where does that come from? That does not come from these high-paid data center people. It comes from 2010. In West Texas, the oil boom, the shale oil boom, they had some crime problems. So when any of these anti-data center morons bring up, oh, look at the crime, they're referring, they don't even know what they're saying. They're referring back to rumors and things that happened in 2010s in the shale oil. Like you said, they're massive salaries, but you know what? Massive salaries, the people aren't going to be committing a lot of crimes because they know, like you, there's a lot of people lined up who, if they take one misstep, they're fired. Someone else will take their spot in an instant. Yeah. And as far as housing, it's not really going to, in Wichita Falls, bring in the permanent housing. Now, a couple of last month, or month before that, our city council had gone to Abilene, I think sometime last year, because Abilene had that big, massive, spike in rents and spike in housing costs and all of that. Total disaster, but they weren't ready for it because, like that, Stargate hit them. All of a sudden, 5,000 workers out of nowhere. They could not prepare for what was coming. Our city council and mayor has been proactive in this. So I don't know if you followed it. I was at the meeting where I think they passed it. All of the zoning and regulations for the man camps that the data centers have to adhere to bring people in. Do what?
Go ahead. Yeah, I was at that meeting.
Yeah, you were at that one, or you were at that one where it was discussed and not the one where it actually was voted on and passed.
But continued, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of regulations down to like they mentioned, having their own security. There's enough high people. They're not your grunt workers. They're not bringing in people from Mexico to build these things. These things are high security. These things are national security infrastructure. They're not going to be built by average Joe. They're going to be built by professionals. And like there's one local guy, they're like, oh, but they're going to bring in out of town workers. They are, if there's not enough people to do the jobs. Do you people who are watching us know about per diems?
Oh, per diems? God, I do.
I was making so much money on a project that the company would call me and say, hey, will you cash some of your checks? And I'd have to call my wife and say, hey, there's a bunch of paychecks sitting there on the desk. Can you go ahead and cash them? They're really on to me about their accounting. That's how much we were making. Living in an apartment in Arlington, Texas, and having an extended stay apartment in Edmond, Oklahoma. Both of them, and we had that much money coming in. Why? A lot of it was on per diems. I negotiated a really high rate because I was the operations analyst in a data center. The company went bankrupt. The company that bought the remaining assets said, okay, you know the things in the data center. You've helped build it. So we want you to help liquidate it. That was in Fort Worth. Then they said, okay, in what was left, 26 divisions or something, we're having all of the IT equipment sent to a warehouse in Oklahoma City. We would like you to inventory that and help us auction it off, figure out what we want to keep, etc. So I did that, and okay, it's going to cost me such and such to drive up there. Cost of gas was nothing back then. It was 2004. I think it was under $1 a gallon. And I'm going to have a place to stay, and I'm going to have to eat. I drove up there, had an extended stay, kept it every week, drove up there most weekends, drove back to Arlington. So how did I do that? Well, they would come down from Brattleboro, Vermont, and they would stay in really nice hotels. So I was like, okay, let's base what I'm going to spend on, well, a hotel that's a little bit of downgrade from yours. Okay. So I based it on still a nice, expensive hotel. Then when they came down, they would go, okay, let's go out and eat. Oh man, it's like you're sitting there eating in an expensive steak restaurant, and they go, do you want to upgrade your steak to Blue Prime for an additional like $20? This was 2000. Yeah, upgrade all the steaks. That was the company that bought these. So I negotiated a really high amount on eating. What did I actually do? I think it was like $114 or $140 a week in town suites, extended stay hotel, and it had a kitchen, and I ate in most of the time. So I made that huge per diem and pocketed it. So locally, I saw a comment by someone on data centers. Yeah, they hire out of town people when there's no in-town people to do it. He's like, great. Can't wait till the data center is being built here. I can sleep in my own bed instead of my RV, because he travels for construction of data centers. He won't have to do that. Neither will anyone. Like if you get certification and you can go out there, neither will you. You won't have to travel local hired. But if there's not enough local people, then they have to.
Yeah.
And yeah, poaching. You're talking about poaching is getting people who are well experienced from other projects. Oh, there's this guy who's really good. He's working for Microsoft over here on theirs. And Google goes, hey guy, we'll pay you add so much percent if you come work for us.
I've seen a guy. I was reading this article. There's a guy. He went through 3 different companies within the span of a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Only because they kept on poaching him and offering him more money.
Well, I knew someone who knew Michael Dell, or he had a friend who knew Michael Dell. And how did Dell Computers, how did he grow so much so fast? He would take and find a professional who was the best in their thing at some other business, and he'd call him up and go, so you make such and such amount? I'll triple it. Come work for me. His entire thing was poaching people. I lived in Arlington, and I went to a job fair, and I applied with Dell. Well, here's I list this as one of the things I've done that's a mistake in life. I lived in Arlington. I got a call from Dell Computers for a job down in Round Rock. I live in Arlington. My wife's family lived in Little Elm. My wife said, I don't want to move so far away from my parents. I turned it down. I got a call 3 days later from the executive vice president of Dell saying, why did you turn down our job offer? Why? Did we not offer you enough? Did my people not explain the offer well enough to you?
Wow.
You know, one day out at Howmet, when I was real depressed, working in that damn thing that was out in the tunnel area, that was a dirty, gritty, sandy thing, I drew a chart on mistakes in my life. I drew it in sand on the desk at first, and then I got a piece of paper, wrote it in detail. And I think I listed that as a number 2 mistake, not going, yeah, I'll move to Round Rock right now.
Round Rock's not a bad place.
Round Rock's an awesome place. Imagine. This is 2001, 2002, and I could have been making probably, I think it would have started at 140,000 in 2002.
You should have took the job, you moron.
That's why when I was so depressed out there in that thing where I was isolated, no one around. Do you remember that thing?
What thing?
It was some automatic sand blasting thing
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
out
know
in
what
the back. That
the auto blast. Yeah. I had to
yes, I ended up being one running that because
I had to run it too.
but I ran it a lot. Very few people there could run it for some reason. But anyway, when I was out there all by myself, that's when I started writing this thing out of mistakes in my life. And that one, and it just, the poaching is what got that. And people are like, why do we have all these H-1B visas? Why are we doing that? Because
They're not hiring
since 2018, France has been training people specifically in AI. Macron mentioned that last November, specifically focused in it. They have the best people. We have brute force because we have large, big tech. They don't in Europe. So they're trying to do it with people. So what are we doing? Well, while we've been teaching protesting 101, they've been teaching people specifically in AI. So our H-1B visa isn't to bring in like low skilled workers. We're trying to get their best.
Yeah. There's another thing talking about tech using AI. I was wondering, I've always wondered how AI is actually going to make, money and everything. And then I watched a video showing how tech uses money. It's a token system. Basically, you use like if you're working at a job that you're doing scripts for like AI and everything like that, or scripts for AI or scripts for some kind of stuff. Basically, what's happening is these people are using X amount of tokens to have the AI write the script. And even the script, after they're done, they have to go over it to verify if XYZ was correct. So they still have a job. But from what I understand is they're slowing down. A lot of tech companies are slowing down just a tad from using AI because it's getting way too expensive. They're rehiring a lot of people coming back because it's expensive doing that way.
Well, even Google, I got a notification on that on Gemini that they're going to be limiting the amount that you can do as far as questions. But we're talking not your typical chatbot questions, intense calculations, things like you're talking about, reports, asking. Asking, hey, data consider construction crime attributed to West Texas workers. What is all that? That's a simple little query.
Yeah. But what I'm talking is not it's
scientific calculations,
yeah,
business models, predicting stocks, things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but here's one issue you might get into. When you start an AI conversation and you keep it going, gets bigger and bigger, every time you reload it, refresh it, it reads the whole thing again, It just doesn't just add to. It looks at the entire conversation. So you can be using up your allotment just by reloading the same thing.
Yeah.
Not just adding one statement to it. And one of the things that is the reason I'm not prepared here is on our vacation, AI was my buddy. AI was my travel buddy. And it was like, oh my gosh, I got to get here to here. So instead of standing there and trying to figure out the Metro Rail, the blue line, the yellow line, the whatever line, the station,
buddy.
Huh?
It was your travel guide, not your buddy.
No, he was my buddy. I called him my buddy. He was my friend. Oh my God, there's this. It's like, oh my gosh, we're out here and we're 7 blocks away. You need to call an Uber. You need to get out of the 113-degree heat now. Oh my gosh, a little bit later, my wife, she can't go more than 30 seconds without sitting down and she's aching here and here and here. Oh my God, you weren't drinking your Gatorade electrolyte packets? You guys need to get to a clinic now. Here, I'll locate a clinic nearby. Boom. Does that take our insurance? Let me check. Yeah, they take it. So these people who say, oh, use an AI, so you don't have to think. It sped a lot up saying, what clinics use our insurance, which ones are closest that would take the least, that are still open, take the least Uber. We took 44 Uber rides on this trip. And I haven't mentioned the figure to my wife yet, but I looked at it and it was about $1,025 in Uber rides.
Dude.
But when it's 113 degrees heat index and you've just toured the Capitol in a private tour with Ronnie Jackson's aide, and you're trying to get to the 250th fair, and it's 7 blocks away, and you've walked a block and a half, and you're about to collapse. So you call an Uber to go the next 5 blocks.
Dude, I'm not even upset, because what we did, it was like during that Rangers game. Trey was like, "Hey, we're gonna get an Uber from the hotel. Just meet us at the hotel, park at the hotel, and we'll get an Uber, and we'll go to the game." Dude, it was not even 2 blocks. I was like, dude, we could have walked this. I mean, legitimately, we could have walked this. It's only like a mile. He's like, yeah, but, and I looked at his phone to check out how much the Uber was. It was $105.
Holy shit. He doesn't Uber shop, does he?
No, he did. But because of the congestion of that area, price.
Well, we learned the Metro Rail. And I'll tell you one thing. These people who go, oh, those evil National Guard people swarming the city. 11:30 at night, walking from a Metro Rail to our hotel in Washington, D.C., I felt safe. No problem. Those evil National Guard, hi guys, what you doing? Hey, good job. The same with the Capitol Police. The same. I think someone said was it 17 different types of police in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, there is. It's really weird.
But
Because
they were all friendly. Even the
Yeah.
total dick Secret Service people. That's another story. Another time. Maybe next week. Fucking dicks. Even they were kind of nice. All the other Secret Service people were. But felt totally safe. And the Metro rail system there, people are like, oh, crime. Yeah, there's no crime. Yeah, there's no crime. Is someone going to commit a crime with all the National Guard around? The biggest crime that I would see is getting run over by one of those damn little scooters.
Oh, dude. Yes. Absolutely. Man, when we did the honor flight, I had to stop Dad. I had to pay attention to all this stuff and watching around, and I had to stop Dad. It's like, Dad, hold up. And he was like, and just boom. I'm like, it took every bit of my fucking being not to grab the son of a bitch off the thing. It's like, look where you're fucking going.
Well, there's everything. There's everything from tourists to professionals. And I asked one of the Uber drivers. I says, kind of joking. I said, "Yeah, I keep telling my wife we should do that. We should get on that." And my wife doesn't have good balance, and she's like, "No." But he said they're expensive. There's an initial charge and then a per minute fee. And it would end up being more. But you look around and it's amazing. You see the tourists zipping around them. Then you'll see 113 degrees. You'll see a professional guy, long sleeve in a suit and tie, going around on the scooter.
Yeah.
Those things were everywhere. But the rail system was crystal clean. You took and you loaded your phone. This was way cool. You just loaded your phone with a rail card. You walk through, tap, get on. And most of the rides were $250. I don't know that. Yeah, I don't see any ride or 225, 250, 240. Nothing was expensive there, but those Ubers, especially when you're out there and you have 8 bags.
Yeah.
We had to buy another suitcase the day before we left for all of our shit. So we had three big suitcases, and Amtrak for the Acela, they don't like a lot of bags, and they don't really have bag storage. It kind of ticks them off when you show up with all this luggage. But it was good having my buddy with me going, hey, what do I do? Oh, that much luggage. Immediately you get there, find a red cab. Tell them this, tip them this. They'll put your luggage in here. Well, I heard that you really need to buy a padlock because the luggage isn't locked, and something else had me do that. No, don't do that because they'll be perfectly safe. And followed along. Make sure that they've called ahead when you get to the destination and someone's there ready to take it off, or you're going to piss all the people because they've got a tight schedule. So pages and pages. One of the pages I downloaded, and the problem is when you get a conversation that's too big, it truncates the first part of it.
Really? I
wanted to save the conversation of the travels, kind of like a travel diary of how I was working with him to do this, and all the locations. And several days got truncated, so I didn't save it. Now, one of them was okay, our last day. When you're doing a trip, here's a tip. When you're doing a trip to Washington, D.C., don't be one of these idiots who go up to a museum or a monument and go, hey, we want to get in there right now. And they're like, where's your ticket? A lot of this stuff you have to get 30 days out. You have to get free or $1 to book, but 30 days out, you have to start getting it. And they're very limited.
Why is
So, because of the size of the people that they can allow in at one time. It's just like national parks now. After some of them before, but most of them after COVID, you have to get timed tickets.
Really? We went through the National Mall and we didn't have anything.
Well, through the mall, but through monuments, a lot of monuments, some of the museums, the National Archives, to do a detailed tour in the National Archives, we had to get timed tickets.
We went through the Lincoln Memorial, no problem.
Lincoln Memorial's open, but the Undercroft, which didn't exist when you went out there.
I don't know. I went down.
The Undercroft opened on the 26th of June for the first time.
I don't know because we went through like an area on the national on Lincoln Memorial that was like we had to take an elevator.
You can take an elevator up instead of climbing the steps, but this is down underneath it where you see the supports that hold it up.
Yeah,
look up Undercroft.
No, that's what it was.
Huh.
Undercroft Lincoln Memorial. Oh, okay. Okay. No. Yeah, we went to. No, that was the Undercroft too. Okay. Oh, they opened it up. No, I seen that. Yeah, I went through the Undercroft. It was open when I was getting there.
They just built it within the last built the exhibit within the last couple of years and opened it to the public. And it opened in June. Anyway, you have to do these things in advance. And my one of the best things I did is I was going to get one of the may have been the Undercroft tickets, and I decided to do a practice run and try to get tickets for something that I wasn't trying to go to. Mm-hmm. And what you had to do is the morning that was 30 days out, I would set it for 15 minutes before the ticketing opened to make sure I was awake in here, had the computer up. Then, in case my mind wandered, I set an alarm for 1 minute till. And then I sat here watching the clock. And in some of these, I didn't get it right away. What happens is, say you have 5 family members. They want tickets to this thing. They're all on their computers trying to get it. Boom. Really? Hi, guys. We got it. Okay. They let it expire in their cart, the other 4 or however many got it. That's 15 minutes. You can extend your cart 5 minutes. So on one of the tickets, I actually sat there for an hour and a half hitting refresh over and over, 2 tickets, refresh in the calendar. And I would see some of the time slots open up. We've got 3 here. We've got 1 here. And I kept trying to do that. Now, we were there 29th through the 7th. Then 7th to the 11th, we went to Philadelphia. What a trashy shithole. And on the 11th, we went back on the train, Acela, to D.C., stayed the night, checked out on the 12th. I tried to get the Washington Monument during that 29th through the 7th. Good thing I didn't really some of the time because of intense heat, they closed it. So if I'd have got the tickets, it would have been screwed anyway. The only time I was able to get tickets for it was after we checked out on the 12th and before our plane flight. So we left.
You seen this? Wait, let me get this a little bit bigger. Did you read it?
Never-ending pasta pass.
Yeah. Well, they have what it is Olive Garden has a never-ending pasta pass where you just go in there and show your ID and you get whatever. Now because people were overusing it and everything, you have to show ID.
Oh
So-
my God, there's got to be people outraged about that.
Oh, absolutely.
That's disenfranchising pasta lovers.
I know, right? Hey, real quick, what's a ballot chaser? Because the Turning Point pack, we're training ballot chasers across the country, but we can't do it without you. Chip in today and help us grow our growing ground game. What is a ballot chaser?
I believe a ballot chaser is look at California, how their election ran for ever. After the election, there were some ballots that had some issues or something, and they would go out and take them to the people to fix them. I think that's what a ballot chaser is, or they would go out and verify that someone had or hadn't voted. Let's see. Ballot chaser, political practice involving the collection and submission of absentee or mail-in ballots.
Did you watch?
I remember Pelosi's daughter was a big one who was doing that in California, and they were so thrilled when they chased enough ballots so the Democrat would win.
Here's another funny thing. Did you watch the Joe Rogan JD Vance episode this week?
No.
Dude, it was fucking hilarious. It was informative. JD Vance is trying to sell a new book. It's called Block. I'm it is so horrible. I heard it like 13 times this week, and I think it's fuck. Communion. Finding your my way back to the faith. He was on like Mike Rowe. He's probably going to be on Theo Vaughn, but he was on Joe Rogan promoting his book, which they didn't even talk about the book. Well, they talked a little bit about the book, about his faith and everything. They talked more on Mike Rowe about the book. If you want to learn more about that book, watch Mike Rowe's podcast. Okay, Bill, I'm talking and you're pulling up stuff. Anyways,
It was related.
no, it wasn't. Not at all. Anyways, I was talking to not talking, but Mike Rowe podcast with JD Vance. That's the one you if you want to know a lot about the book. But there is one part in the Joe Rogan JD Vance, and I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get dinged or anything. But there was one part Joe was like, with all that person that ramen noodle chick, she got all the votes and everything to get Spencer Pratt off the ballot, which I'm still trying to figure out how he got off the ballot, because it was supposed to be Republican and Democrat, but he got off the ballot because he's going in as a Republican. But this ramen noodle chick, well, she's not going to be on the ballot anymore because apparently she misappropriated $60 million for the homeless stuff. So there's that. But Joe Rogan was saying, it's like, yeah, they had all those mail-in ballots come in. And it's kind of weird. I want to find the person in California who has the highest tax increase that had the highest taxes, and they asked for a higher taxes. We're not paying enough. Can you believe that, Bill? What time frame have you ever said you're not paying enough taxes? Tax me more. I wouldn't even do it as a joke. It's like, this is never going to pass. I'm going to go ahead and vote for it. Because if I accidentally, I was like, oh, one person voted for us, so we're going to tyke it up. Guys, I hate to tell you something. I need to tell you something. I voted for the tax increase. You what? You know how many punches to the face I deserve out there? That lots.
Okay, I don't see it, but I think Mike Rowe is going to be on one of the Fox programs this weekend talking about AI jobs.
Oh yeah, he's been talking.
I saw the promo. It's not on the schedule. It says it hasn't been officially released, but
Bill, what I'm trying to say is Mike Rowe has been going off for like 2 weeks because I've been listening to the podcast. It's nothing new. He's been going on the podcast and talking about data centers and jobs that he's creating. That's where I found out on an article that he wrote that that people are poaching from for electricians.
right. And I'm just saying that people will be able to see him this weekend on a Fox News program talking about it. And I think it is with Brian Kilmeade. I saw the promo right before we went on, but right now it says Brian Kilmeade hasn't published his lineup, but I'm pretty sure it was on there during Laura Ingram's program right before we came on.
He has been talking a lot about the data centers and the jobs that it's creating, but he also has been talking about how going to college isn't good enough anymore. We have that role of thinking that we need to go to college to get a good job, but in all reality, you need a trade. You can get a trades job and get paid really well.
College was my biggest waste of time. 5 years at Midwestern, I consider it a waste of time.
Dude,
My degree is in finance, and I worked in computers.
not even that. I have robotic skills and everything I don't even use. I use more of the electrician stuff that I learned in that class, and I learned more when I was working as an electrician.
Well, I with a finance degree, yeah, I was probably one of the first people in Burke with a computer. I had been in computers. I started my college degree in computers, and I changed to finance. But my background was in computers. I worked my way up from a tape handler to an operations analyst who coordinated installations of our everything in the data center, and handled the contracts for consumables, contracts for the big smoking cat generators we had. Yeah, and they talk about, okay, nowadays, oh, look how they pollute. Well, yeah, take a picture 30 years ago of what we had, and they roll smoke. But the latest Caterpillar generators produce 95% less emissions than even 10 years ago. But when the anti-data center people come up and show the black smoke and all that, they're showing you the old ones. They're not showing you the new ones that are being installed. And that's part of the propaganda.
Well, not even
Now-
that. Nowadays on the smokestack, some of those places are actually taking the gas, the CO2 gas or the smoke, and reverberating back into the facility so it can actually run a generator. And even after that, the stuff that goes out, they have there's certain companies that what they do is they set up a flame on top so it can burn everything off. So,
or do carbon capture. Now, I don't know if we can play this. I don't know, copywritten 2 minutes of
No,
an
because
interview.
you've already played it. No,
Do what?
you've already played it. You played it 3 weeks ago.
This came out 2 days ago with Glenn Beck.
It better not be the same speech that he was talking about. Go ahead, send it.
No, it's an interview. Now, he had multiple interviews that he did, and there's 3 on X, 3 pieces.
Bill, play it.
Hold on. This is the middle one. This is about how AI is needed for national security. That's this specific one, not about his Utah one and all that. It's national security.
This war, or this, whatever you want to call it, that's going on in the Middle East that you're witnessing, I would argue to you, is the first AI war ever fought.
This war that we're fighting with Iran is the first AI war. What do you mean by that?
So let me explain how this is working. And I spend a lot of time in Washington, D.C. these days for a lot of reasons. You know, I'm an advocate for small business in America.
Yes.
They have very few voices. We create 52% of all jobs in America. Companies 5 to 500 employees. That's my army. That's what I call them. So I represent them, blue and red. I'm a very fortunate guy because it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. You want to create jobs. That's what I do. So I get to meet everybody. But I also spend time with various government agencies regarding their need for compute capacity. So I'm going to select my words correctly, okay? But you should make the assumption they're coming from a place of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we build a data center in America, anywhere, we should provide at least 20% of its capacity to our government to provide them what they need to prepare for the war of the future that you're actually witnessing now. And let me be very specific. The Chinese know what they're doing. The future of warfare is about highly precision-driven ordnance, so missiles that can just hit one person.
Mm-hmm.
Inexpensive drone technology, predictive analysis of weather in the war theater, all kinds of other elements that require AI compute capacity. That the 2 chopper pilots that fell into the ocean and the chopper went down, their lives were saved by a craft that had no one in it, driven by an operator, probably in Florida, a young operator that was able to take that boat precisely to where their beacons said they were in the ocean, pick them up, and drive them back to safety of an aircraft carrier. Now, you want that for our servicemen and women. Everybody wants that. How do you get that? That is AI compute and compute capacity. And we need it desperately. So if you want the best defense, if you want to maintain your style of life and freedom and democracy in America for your children, you give a damn about data centers. You have an obligation to build one in your state and give some of that capacity.
Okay, Bill, pause that.
Or to Department of War, or to whoever.
Okay, we're not going to go over the whole thing, and I get his meaning and everything. And yeah, he's right. I don't know about the percentage. 20% might be a little bit too much, especially if you spread it around to every data center.
I recommend if you're out there, go to Glenn Beck's X post, and that was July 14th, last edited 1:31 p.m. There's 3 videos in a row with him. That's the middle one. And where the other 2 are good too, but that's the one where he goes into precision of how we should handle the rest of the Iran war, and his ideas. You tell someone, okay, your family I know your family lives at such and such house on such and such exact time. Tell them to get out because we're going to blow it away.
Well, okay. Here's the counter stuff on that one. And this just recently happened too. There was a combat situation. And they had it set up where the missile goes to X location. Okay. They set it up going to X location. Well, the admiral, like halfway through when the missile was going, I was like, I want to try something out. So he said, okay, scratch that. We don't need that target dead. We need them alive. So go ahead, back off. No, I'm going to, and the AI system was like, no, I got to complete my mission. So the admiral was like, no, return back to base, mission abort, do not kill XYZ. Then the AI goes, no, we're not doing that. Admiral's like, I order you to return to base. Then the AI goes, flashes on the screen, is this your house? Because I'm going there. It's scary if that's actually true.
Season 2, episode 17 in Star Trek Voyager. Watch the episode Dreadnought.
Was that it?
Villanis got into a missile that they had originally programmed, and it kind of, I guess, lost its target and chose another planet in the Delta Quadrant as a target. And it's like, that's a mistake. No, it's not. And she boarded it to try to convince it that that's not really your target.
Oh, okay.
That's very similar to what you're talking about. But you look at what's going on. Do what?
I said I was like halfway into believing it and halfway out because I was like, I don't know. I tried to look for the original article and I couldn't find it though. So,
well, that's one of the reasons why he boycotted Anthropic for a while, because Anthropic said, we're not going to give you the capability for AI to automatically run the weapons. And he said, up here's Anthropic. We need it.
Yeah.
We need that ability. And they do. You look at the Golden Dome. The Golden Dome, Elon putting up a network of, it's been a while since I've talked about this, 200 or 400, I think it was 400 Starshield satellites. And imagine you've got 400 satellites watching the Arctic. Imagine a swarm of drones are launched at us. Each satellite, they all have to watch these things. They use AI to predict where these drones might go. Then use AI to take that analysis and target them to stop them. They have to look at Russia so closely for their hypersonic missile that they need to see it when it first fires up and kill it before it goes in the launch phase. So think about the AI processing that has to go through with all that. The battleship, people are laughing that, oh, look, battleships are outdated. Why is he creating a battleship? Look at the mission. If you take the new battleship and you look at its mission really doesn't match. It's like battleship in name only to me. Not sure why they even call it, because its mission is a command and control center for drones. That's one of its missions. You're out there in the ocean and you've got all these drones coming at you. You can launch drones and have the people controlling it in that battleship command and control center. That all takes a lot of AI computations. That's why he said the government needs a lot of this, and a lot of it is the government. That's why, yeah, I don't know yet if this is going to be a tier 3 or tier 4 data center in Wichita Falls, but with the redundancies that it has going in, it can very well be a tier 4. You're going to see a lot of security, a lot of guards. Then there would be very likely military processing going on in it. So as far as people saying, oh, it's just for chat bots because I could run Facebook. If I get off of Facebook, they could shut down the data centers. No, you'll probably have national security routines running through here.
Yeah.
And their build timeline is to like 2032, 33. By then, the power issue, small modular reactors will be going online.
We already have a couple of them that are being shipped. But going on other stuff, Trump and Iraq strike pipeline deal to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. And this is Iraq doing it. I don't know if it's actually going to happen because he's talking to the prime minister, and I don't know who's really in charge in Iraq. Nobody really does. But Trump administration and Iraq have struck a deal to build a pipeline to circumvent the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. companies Chevron and KBR inked a memorandum to understanding what with Iraq following. We're in war with Iran. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. Yeah, he met with the leader of Iraq, and we know the leader of Iraq, and
yeah.
Arab nations are already building a pipeline that was supposed to take years to complete. And I think they're getting close to already completing that damn thing.
Yeah. They're also what was it? UAE is cutting through the strait and
that's what I was talking about. UAE pipe, Abu Dhabi crude oil pipeline spans 229 miles.
Yeah, and they're also here. Let me get this map.
Saudi is building an east-west pipeline, and here's the Iraq proposal. U.S. and Iraq are exploring new pipeline to connect Iraq's oil fields to Mediterranean ports through Syria or Turkey.
So now Kipler says that crossings through the strait hit a 3-week low. 8 ships in the past 24 hours. U.S. companies now trying to make plans to transport oil around that part of the world. A Chevron executive tells Fox Business they will sign a memorandum of understanding today with Iraq to enter into 2 Iraqi oil fields and doing studies to move oil from Iraq north around the strait, possibly through the Mediterranean Sea. This is all meant to add that global oil supply, avoiding the issues. Now, oil prices, WTI is about $80 a barrel. We'd like to see that lower, and that's what the president and these companies are trying to push for. Back to you.
Okay, Edward, thank you so much. Jillian?
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, they're even well, the strait's going this way. UAE's going to try to make a waterway through UAE territory, so they don't have to worry about Iraq anymore. So,
yeah, there's the only product I think that we need. I mean, he keeps coming out and saying we don't need it. We don't need fertilizer. We don't have another source big enough for fertilizer. Canada has some of the fertilizer we need, but a lot of it goes through the Strait of Hormuz.
I'm not really wanting that fertilizer anymore.
Are you talking shit?
Huh?
Are you talking shit to me?
No. Look at Idaho.
Talking shit.
Iowa. Is it Iowa?
Talking shit.
Yeah. I think it's Iowa. They're going through problems because of that fertilizer. They can't drink the water anymore. Well, from what I understand, they used to rotate crops. Corn, it's a valuable crop right now. Yeah, you get corn syrup, all kinds of stuff. Ethanol, Corn's a very valuable product. It's almost as valuable as gas right now, or oil. Not pricing, but you get the point. What they used to do is corn takes nitrous out of the soil. So they would switch it to soybean. Nobody likes soybean. Soybean's worthless. You could probably use it as, another source of fertilizer, which you should do. They would use soybean to re-enrich the land.
Isn't it high in protein?
It is, but plant protein. It's depending on which doctor you ask. Plant protein is. Some people say it's not good for you just because it doesn't have the fats in it. It's the reason why you have to eat meat. But plant protein is not supposed to be good for you. And there's certain chemicals and everything and plants. It's a whole thing. And I won't get into it right now. But they use soybean to energize the soil so they can plant corn again. Well, I think it's Jefferside fertilizer.
Is that a brand?
No, it's a type. I hate this fucking thing sometimes. Jefferside fertilizer, and what's happening in Iowa. What's happening with Iowa with a fertilizer? Okay. The Iowa is gripping with two-front fertilizer crisis, skyrocketing prices linked to the global conflict and long-term environmental concerns over the drinking water contamination. That's what I wanted to look at. Antitrust, price spikes, blah, blah, blah. Water, okay. Nitrate contamination. It's not saying the stuff on it. I was listening to it on a podcast this week with the fat electrician. But yeah, they're having the fat electrician. Anyways, no jokes. I'm fucking doing something, Bill. So shut up.
You're the one who said that, and I was like, "What?
What the hell, Bill?"
Yeah,
I missed you.
What the hell, Dave?
Anyways, he was on the podcast, and the fat electrician, Nick, he was talking about one of the congressmen is going on, the Republican congressman is going on the fact that, hey, I want to stop using this fertilizer because it causes cancer. So the other guys can't, the Democrats can't use that. And it's like, oh, who wants to not stop cancer? What are we going to do? But that was the whole thing that they were talking about, but they're having a big problem because there's a lot of cancer patients in that state right now because of the water supply damage from the fertilizer, from bug spray, all kinds of stuff.
Now that was Iowa or Idaho?
Iowa. What's next in Michigan? Map of Michigan and Iowa. That's Missouri. Fuck. Minnesota.
Iowa's fertilizer crisis centers on sky-high prices and environmental pollution.
Yeah, I read that, Bill. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the cancer stuff. I don't care. Yes, pricing. Oh, big deal. Okay. It'll go down once we get a good thing with Iran or we do something Iran. Good. I'm worried about the cancer stuff, Bill. Cancer bad. Cancer bad.
Well, okay. I was worried about what
Iowa Cancer
what is
Project.
getting into the soil from it. It looks like nitrogen and ammonia.
Yeah. Okay. Here.
Okay.
Do this. Iowa cancer problem. Say that. Do that one.
I did
Iowa-
Iowa fertilizer issue.
Yeah, don't do that. That's just it gives you like the price, blah blah blah. This is what it comes up with. Iowa has the second highest and one of the most fastest growing cancer incident rates in the US. Driving this crisis is a troubling combination of environmental and lifestyle factors, including widespread agriculture, pesticides, and nitrate runoff, high random levels in homes. PFAS, forever chemicals in waterways, and high rates of binge drinking. And we'll cut the high rates of binge drinking because if you're in a lot of pain, you're gonna drink a lot. It's a countermeasure with people that have like real bad problems, and cancer is a real bad problem. High agriculture uses of pesticides like say this word, Bill. I'm gonna text you the word because I can do that.
Texted on
No.
what?
Glyphosate.
Glyphosate. That's what it is.
That doesn't sound right.
Yes, it's a pesticide. Hold on, let me put it in the chat. But nitrogen-based fertilizers have a contaminated disorder in waterways, which that happens if you use too much of that stuff. It'll do that. With high instances of kidney, pancreatic, breast cancer. Additionally, Iowa has natural high indoor random levels, which is a leading cause to lung cancer. And Radon.
Radon?
Radon.
Radon.
Yeah, radon. It has high levels of indoor radon. Statewide impact. The surge includes diagnosis of 13 of the 16 major cancer types, such as breast, brain, prostate, non-halogenic,
hallucinogenic.
No, HODGKIN.
Hodgkin's
lymphoma.
disease.
Okay, Hodgkin's lymphoma. Registered far above the national average. Rural counties bear a disproportionate share of the burden. I'm gonna read the lifestyle behaviors to myself. Yeah. This whole lifestyle behavior stuff, that was from PBS. I don't think they know what they're talking about. Yes, you're going to have some lifestyle behavior changes, but mostly it was like, oh, it's due to this too. No, it might be the chemicals you're putting in the fucking ground. But anyways, here's another interesting thing that's happening now. Syria is helping out with the anti-terrorist stuff now. Syria's Syrian customs at Al-Taf border seized oil tankers packed with hundreds of drones, rocket weapons. Officials says IRGC smuggling attempts bound from Syrian port, likely headed to Hezbollah and Libyan.
Concealment tactics will deter its personnel.
sealed inside a tanker designed to transport crude oil. The official seizure report was properly filed and handed over to the relevant authorities.
Okay. That music.
Interesting. I would be curious to know where the movie The Living Daylights was filmed.
What? What are you talking about?
You said that was in Syria?
Yeah.
Austria, Morocco. The movie the Living Daylights, where he had the oil tanker filled with the drugs, that looked like the tankers from the movie.
Oh, okay.
That's how my mind works. It goes, whoa.
Yeah, and you need to stop it because we got a schedule. Yeah. I think that's the last thing. Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Well, what I was digging into with the Iowa issue and the nitrates is that the anti-data center people are blaming data centers for the nitrate issue. And they're not.
Yeah. Bill, you already did the data center stuff. We're not backtracking on
every nitrite data center issue. I was looking into seeing if in Iowa, if they had anything to do with the nitrate issue, but they are being blamed for it, even though they don't.
Okay. On this, and I'm going to make this as quick as I possibly can. They will use everything they possibly can because I want to snuff this right now. They're going to use everything they possibly can. If there's a guy that's butt naked crossing the road and he has he's known to have a psycho trip every once in a while, they're going to blame it on the data center. That's how they work. That's how it always worked. I am done with the data centers for right now. Do not speak anything about the data centers. Because the next thing is kind of more important and explosive. And it's real news, Bill. Real news. CDC and the FDA have told Americans to avoid certain Taco Bell lettuce because of a parasite outbreak from the Mexican supplier, with 1,600 people being sick after eating the chain's in multiple states. The lawsuit's probably coming on this one, and it's because of explosive diarrhea. So be careful out there with Taco Bell. You'll blow up your bathroom. I read that. I thought it was fake. I was like, oh, this is real. This is real. And the reason why I thought it was fake was because of the fact it was Taco Bell. Whoever eats at Taco Bell, what's the whole joke? You're going to blow up the bathroom. Is that right, Bill? You're going to blow up the bathroom if you eat Taco Bell. That's the whole running joke. Bill, not yet. Nope.
Now on.
Pause it. I'm not done yet.
It was good timing.
Okay. No.
Do you know what it is?
I don't care right now. I'm doing a joke. I will mute all your stuff and block you forevers because you're ruining my joke. But that's the whole meme. I mean, there's memes, dozens of memes of exploding bathrooms because you ate Taco Bell. So when it came up, I was like, "Oh, that's funny. That's a new meme. It's the lettuce now." And then this whole reality was like, "Oh, it's real." Well, good thing I didn't go to Taco Bell this week. Anyways, Bill,
I was going to, but I just did the frozen burritos.
Now on Iran and the NDAA.
Is this about Taco Bell?
Now on Iran and the NDAA. When all the Trump administration complete investigation that's independent. Now on Iran and the NDAA. When all the
Oh, it does it the entire time?
Yeah, he repeats it a few times.
Now on Iran and the NDAA. When all the Trump administration DAA.
Okay, next time.
There's another hilarious one out there, but I couldn't find it real quick that I've seen. That was a AI created one that shows him just exploding.
Oh, see,
I was looking for that one.
No, you need to learn timing. Timing. You got that, Bill? Timing. Okay. One last thing before we leave. Massive 2A win for the U.S. Federal Appeals Court strikes down the New Jersey Democrat law that bans America's possessing semi-automatic rifles like AR-15s and AKs that are semi-automatic, not fully automatic, which they call large capacity magazines with more than over 10 rounds. It has been declared a violation of the Second Amendment rights. And this was, I think this the third court. Let me look at the third district court. But yeah, it's a big win because here lately they've been knocking down. I mean, the recent thing was Virginia. ATF actually did their job, and as like they were getting down the deadline for July 1st, and they were getting suppressors and SBRs, which are short barrel rifles, passed through as fast as possible, so they can have legal firearms for that. But anyways, you got anything that's 2 to 3 minutes long? This is our longest one from
I got a funny video I can play that I just saw that I have to mute the audio, unfortunately, but it's RFK meets a buffalo.
Oh God, yes, go ahead. Oh, it's not. Okay. It's not the other video. Man, that man, he's like 75 and he's like strapped. Guess what happens when you eat right and everything. Yeah, it's basically AI of him hanging out with a buffalo and being friends with the buffalo. Because we know what happened with a buffalo this week, right?
Yeah, and you know, everyone joked about it, but I heard some that I don't think the guy is okay.
No, he's okay. I mean, he's in traction and everything, and hopefully pray for a speedy recovery, but he's still alive. Man, I can't imagine. That's why you don't mess with Mother Nature. And they were doing okay. If you watch the video, the full video, he was actually at a reasonable safe distance to where he could run, and they couldn't get that far. They couldn't run fast. He couldn't run fast enough, and the buffalo got a hold of him. Luckily, it was just one, because they run around in herds, and they are not nice. Are you trying to find it, Bill?
Oh, I was trying to find a funny video, but I can't. Now, bison meat is really, really tender.
Mm-hmm.
And if you order like a pound burger, you're going to be full because it's doesn't cook away. It's very, very lean. And it isn't like you might have a 1 pound burger and 3/4 pound burger left after cooking. If you buy the cheap meat, it doesn't cook down. Best place I ever had one. And it's called the TP something. And someone told me it still exists. And this was 40 years ago. And it's west of Oklahoma City. A little tourist thing that it looks like a TP, and they sell buffalo burgers, which I had one on our vacation.
Nice.
Not real impressed. And if you go up to Oklahoma, there's plenty of buffalo. Be careful. Stay away. You don't want to get too close to wildlife.
Don't try to pet the baby. My uncle did that when we were in Wichita Mountains. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to try to touch that baby," and the freaking buffalo reared back and was about to attack.
Oh, here's a good one. Cades Cove. Cades Cove in North Carolina, I believe. It's a nature trail. You drive it. Well, every once in a while you'll hear rangers say there's a bear jam. The bear jam means the bear came out, people can see it, and everyone's stopping to watch it.
Well,
so
we're talking.
It causes a log jam of cars. So we were there. There was a bear jam. They were hanging over the road. There was like 3 or 4 of them in a tree hanging over the road. This car stops. The lady gets out, runs with her camera, and starts doing that. The rangers just start screaming, "Get out!" She's under the damn bears, under the branch where they're hanging on to get a good picture. That was about the most moronic interaction with nature episode that I've ever witnessed personally.
Okay. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching that showed up. Yeah, we didn't get that many, but Bill's back. Bill's back. I'll see you next week, everybody. I'm David Dickerman.
And I'm Wild William.
Thank you all. Love you guys. Later.
Later, dudes.